Alright, so this is video 2. Today we're going to take off and replace this pump right here. Video 1 kind of talks about me diagnosing the splitter, so if you want to see how far I've came so far, go watch that one. But today we're going to take off that. We're going to replace it with the new pump. I got off Amazon. Rugged Made was the company. It was like a third of the price as the one at Tractor Supply. Hopefully the quality holds up. We'll find out. But yeah, let's get to it. So to get this off, I need to take off this hose right here. And then I need to take off this hose, and I need to detach it from the motor. So probably the best thing to do would be to drain it, but I'm gonna try and taking this off without draining it, because I just replaced the hydraulic oil. I don't feel like draining it again, but if I need to, I will. So we'll see how it goes. All right, so I got this piece off, and I got the hydraulic hose off. So now I need to loosen this up. That's called a Lovejoy coupler there, and loosen that up. And then we need to get these bolts off. There's 2 on this side, and then there's 2 on this side. They're kind of dirty, but they're there. Let's get to it. All right, so I ended up taking off these bolts because there's a couple of bolts here that are kind of hard to get to get the pump off. I think it's gonna be easier if I get the whole thing off, and then probably can work on it from there. All right, so it got dark the other night, and I ended up putting it back together in the dark, so I wasn't able to show how I put it back together. But basically, I found it was easiest to take these 4 bolts off right here. If it focuses, these 4 bolts right here, 2 right here, 2 on the bottom, right there, and there's 1 on the other side. Take those off, and then you have to loosen the Lovejoy coupling. So the motor, the motor is it's 3-inch, and then the hydraulic pump is 1/2 inch. So this Lovejoy goes from 3/4 to 1/2, and there's a rubber piece there in the middle. You'll see it. It looks like a. I'll pull the one out of my truck here in a second and show you. But there's a Allen wrench key there. There's 2 on this one, and there's 2 Allen wrench key holes on this one. So you got to loosen those up, and then you can take these bolts off. This Lovejoy comes apart, and then you can get this pump off once we took off the this part and that part, and then you can take these 4 bolts off right here. Again, 1/2 inch bolts, 4, that comes off, and then you can put the new pump on like I did. Back to this, mounted it back here, and then mounted it back here, and then put the Lovejoy back together. So that's what I did there. The only thing I realized about the Amazon pump versus the one at Tractor Supply was this where the fluid comes out and it returns to the. Actually, sorry, the fluid comes from the tank and it goes into the pump and gets pressurized, and it pumps into the line here into our handle and in the cylinder, so it can split the wood. But what I realized is this is 3/4, and the old pump was 3/4 as well. But this Amazon pump has a 1-inch nipple here. So what I had to do was I had to get creative and get a piece of rubber that fit over the 3/4 and over the 1-inch to create kind of like an adapter. So I went from 3/4 to 1-inch, and so far it's working. And I'll show you in a second it working properly, but I just used some clamps and clamped the rubber onto this and onto the pump, and then onto this piece over here. So yep, let's look at it while it's going, and I'll show you that it is indeed working properly. So this is a Lovejoy rubber coupler. It goes between the 2 metal pieces. You can see this one's a little bit worn. This was the old one I took off. It's been on there for a while, but I learned it's a L90 or L95. It's that's what the new piece said. So at least for this style splitter, that style Lovejoy, that's what you're looking at. So. So as you can tell, we fixed the problem. It was the pump indeed, and the pressure gauge was showing that it was reading more proper PSI for the splitter, and so the pump itself is rated for about 3,000 PSI. It only took about 1,000 to 1,500 PSI to split that live oak. So yeah, I hope you found this video helpful, and if you are curious, there is a part 1 where I talk more about diagnosing and kind of how we got to this point. So go watch it. And if you are interested in these kind of videos, hopefully I'll post more. This is me making videos, so hopefully it will encourage me to post more. And yeah, that's all for now. So thanks for watching.